Respects. Molly, are you going live? Okay, great. Post in the scanning and healing session also. Group. Scanning and healing group. Post the link. Are you doing it? Waiting. Mauli, are you posting in scanning and healing group the link? Okay. Okay, no problem. Anyhow, now we are moving further into the life solutions. Yesterday we had a great meditation with the navel chakra, a very important chakra, and which is not important actually. All chakras are important in their own way. But problem is we talk a lot about worry and lust and all that. That is why we name it as important. But everything is equally important. Okay. You should always have a pen and a paper with you when you're coming to the class. Water, pen and paper. All three should be with you. If you have blindfold, very good. Even blindfold. All these four things you should always have no matter what class you're attending. Because spontaneously, anything can be revealed at that time and anything can be revealed at that time and anything might be needed. Okay, we are moving further. Now we are addressing the very important energy center, which is Mooladhara, the root center, which is located at the base of the spine. Okay. This is the energy center which produces a life, a baby. Right? So here, what we need to learn, how to transform the lust into divine love. Please understand, we are conditioned so badly by the society and everyone around us. They suppress one half of us. Please, we are made up of 51% of, suppose a woman is made up of 51% of women, 49% of male. Male is made up of 51% of male, 49% of female. Basically, you are born out of the union of a female and a male. So how can you have only one energy? You will have both, isn't it? Society teaches us always, labels us, man, women, and all these things, and suppress our half of us. Earlier, there used to be Gurukul. The parents used to leave the children in the Gurukul, a residential school headed by Vedic age masters. In the Gurukul, the children were taught the Gayatri mantra and initiation to kindle the intelligence at the age of 7. So by 14, they used to have some kind of spiritual experience. If they have spiritual experience, they were taught Brahma Sutra, the greatest book on world philosophies. Or else they were taught the Kama Sutra, the science of sex, so that they learnt the art of family life. If before the age of 21 they were enlightened, they were initiated into sannyas. If not, they were taught the yoga shastras. This is how a child was allowed to evolve in his own way under the guidance and love of the master. See, understand, now we have such strong conditioning which is so damaging to a child. The child begins to suppress the part of himself which is not approved by society. We don't realize it, but this is very traumatic for a child. He feels uprooted, cut off from one half of his being. So he starts searching for this suppressed half outside. Understand, man's inherent nature is fulfillment. He came from fulfillment and looks to attain it as well. So, as a child, he begins to search for the lost half, the suppressed half, unconsciously. He doesn't know he's doing it. He starts looking at the outside world for a substitute for his own lost half. Please understand. The male child starts searching for a female presence, and the female child search for a male presence. This is where the whole idea of sex starts. This is how the idea of sex takes root. In the period from 7 to 14 years, the child is closest to his parents. From the parents, the child collects images about how the ideal woman or ideal man should be. For the male child, the suppressed half of his own personality is replaced with his mother's image. And for a girl's child, the suppressed half of her personality is replaced with her father's image. That is why every boy's first heroine is his mother. And every girl's first hero is her father. This deep-rooted search is what is behind the Ophelia complexes, that psychology, Freudian psychology. A boy expects care from his wife like the care he's received from his mother. And a girl expects the security and assurance from her husband that she enjoyed with her father. In broken homes, where the child has been deprived of the mother's or father's presence due to death or divorce, the child carries a sense of incompleteness. Even long after you are an adult, no matter how many differences of opinion you have with your mother or father, you can never remove their imprint from your being. So, when the proximity to parents is not there at that age, the child develops a void. So sad. isn't it? At 14, the child attains physical maturity. Naturally, social laws don't allow him to have same intimacy as earlier with the parent of the opposite sex. And also, their activities become diversified and they don't spend as much time with their parents. So at 14, the search continues. But this time in the outer world, these days, it is happening much earlier than 14, very sadly. Children are exposed to the television and internet from a very young age. That's why they also grow up faster mentally. At about 14 years of age, the search begins in the outside world. Array, what 14? Now I'm seeing at 11 also. Very sad. They're exposed so much, they lose their innocence mentally. And everything is psychological, right? Mentally, when they lose that innocence and they over mature before the age mentally, brain gives certain suggestions to your body also, isn't it? That is why search for the opposite sex is beginning so early. The child now begins to collect images from outsiders and media. The media is perfectly aware of this and they're encashing the weakness. That is why you will see that all advertisements always have sexual undertones. Almost all motorbike ads show women near the motorbike, right? Even all these, expensive cars. Very few women ride motorbikes. But nowadays, whatever the product may be, you will find a smiling woman recommending it. When you go to the market, you promptly pick up that product, forgetting that woman does not come with that product. What? Women is coming freely with that product or what? No. That is the media's way of cashing in on your suppressed desires. Please switch on all your cameras because when you are in the session, simultaneously third eye healing is happening. Body scanning is happening. Everything is happening to you. Always be on the camera. So please understand, all forms of media are nothing but dream sellers. All the people who connected right now, we are talking about a very important energy center in our body, Mooladhara chakra. Understand? Root center, which is the life energy force. So we are speaking about that. How to turn lust into divine love. Oh, Satyaraj garu, chala roju ayindi mimmalni chusi. Session lo undandi, keep attending the session. Lot of healing will be happening. Understand, all forms of media are nothing but dream sellers. We collect the dreams that they sell and keep running over them in our minds, hoping to quench our thirst. Is it possible? Can your thirst for water be quenched By consuming salt? No. If you do this, your thirst will only increase. If you are alert and aware, advertisement hoardings can never fool you. Of course, by seeing them, you can always be aware of the latest things in the market, no doubt. But they will not deceive you. You will not be vulnerable to them. You will be able to see them objectively and leave it at that. You will not feel an instant and unconscious pull towards them. It is only when you allow your reactive mind to be your deciding authority that you are in trouble. Listen, you need to replace the reactive mind with your intelligence so that you are with awareness all the time. This is where meditation helps a lot. While on one side, the media feeds your imagination, on the other, society tries to suppress you. The more society tries to suppress your imagination and desires, the more your imagination grows. Because society does not address the root cause of it. When you just cut off the branches of a tree and leave its roots as they are, what happens? The tree grows in a more flourishing manner. During these years, from 14 years of age, we collect ideas from all sorts of media and build up an image of the perfect woman or perfect man. From each person, we collect the best nose, the best eyes, the best personality, and create our own ideal person. We follow a cut and paste method. In your computers, you cut and paste all the time, isn't it? Same way. This stage of a human being lasts for around 7 years until we are 20 or 21. By then, identification with media wears off, but the ideas are already deep rooted in our minds. Then a fresh search begins to find that ideal person in our real life. This is the search with the idea of how our would be, should be. This is where the expectations start. For the next 7 years, this search continues. Person after person, we try out and get disappointed. A few intelligent people figure out after a while that dreams cannot become reality. Only because dreams cannot become a reality, they are called dreams. But most people keep searching. A small story. A 90-year-old man used to sit every day at the beach from morning to evening, watching the people going by. Another man who noticed this went up to him and asked him, "What do you actually do sitting here every day?" The old man replied, "I'm searching for a woman to be my wife." The man was simply shocked at this reply and asked him, "Why did you not search in your youth?" The old man replied, "I have been searching since I was 30 years old." The man was astonished and asked him, "What sort of a woman are you searching for?" This old man replied, "I'm searching for a perfect woman." And the other man says, "And you haven't found one?" "I found one woman who matched what I had in mind, but it didn't work out well with her," replied the old man. The man asked why. The old man replied, "She was searching for a perfect man." Understand? This is our life. This is what happens when we try to get a perfect match for the image that we carry inside us. But after a long search, we suddenly find a person who seems to match our mental image from a distance. The picture in our mind is green, and the image that we see also seems to be green, and then all is green. A match seems to be found. What happens at this point is we call it as falling in love. This is the science behind falling in love. Note that it is always falling in love, never rising in love. Because what actually happens is, because of our strong needs and expectations, we see things as we want to see them. We project our mental image upon the other. So anyway, the world becomes filled with greenery and music, and life becomes poetry. At last, our search is over. This is the stage at which we begin to write poetry, make paintings, and whatnot, bathroom singing, and whatnot. As long as this distance is maintained, things go on smoothly, greenly. We continue to project our imagination upon the other. But slowly, the person comes closer, and then we feel that what we saw as green was not so green, but only a pale green. But it seems all right. Okay, we'll move on. After a while, we come still closer and feel that it is not even pale green after all, but actually a shade of yellow. But at this stage, we don't want to accept that our imagination has turned out to be a lie. So we start making excuses for the situation. We say to ourselves, this is life, everything can't be perfect, and so on. It requires tremendous courage, tremendous intelligence to live with reality. So we use these excuses instead as a buffer system. Finally, when we get close enough, we find that it is not even yellow, it is just white. What is inside us is green, and what is outside is white. Fantasy and reality are totally different. A small story. A man fell down from the third floor of the building onto the road. A passerby ran up to him and asked, "The falling must have hurt you." The man replied, "No, the falling did not hurt me. Only the sudden stopping hurt me." You got it? As long as we float and flirt in love, as long as we keep our distances and time short, we are fine. We are in a fantasy world. We are not at the functional level. It is only when the floating stops and the real relationship starts, when the distances reduce and the togetherness time increases, the problem starts. Understand, when you fall from a building, as long as you are in the air, it doesn't hurt, right? When you hit at the ground is stopping your falling, right? That is hurting you. So fall did not hurt you, stopping hurted you. Am I right? So please understand, the more fantasies you collect, the more your falling time is before you hit the ground. And so, more the damage. The fewer fantasies you collect, the fewer the number of things there are to compare. And with lesser the trouble. If you don't have any fantasy or imagination, you will immediately meet your soulmate. If you don't have fantasies, anyone you marry will become your soulmate. We need to understand that no living person can live up to the image we carry in our minds, simply because the image is not built from reality. The image is a cut and paste from various quarters of our dream world. Reality cannot be matched with it, because at the end of the day, it is only an image, a fantasy. It is all right if you collect your images from real life characters, from the people you see around you, but what to do? You collect it from media. The media itself is suffering from lust. How can it provide any sort of guidance or relief to you? That is why all the so-called love most often ends in pain. We end up feeling cheated or exploited by the other, used by the other. Our basic instinct is to blame the other for what has happened. But is it the other's fault? Think clearly. Is it the other's fault? No. Because we expected something and we tried to force our imagination upon the other person. Then the problem started. You see, there are some cases where one person starts behaving in an eccentric or irrational way. Those are exceptional cases where you have to decide if you want to continue to live together with such behavior or not. That is different. You cannot apply what I'm saying to that kind of circumstances. Exceptions are always there in any field, isn't it? When I'm uttering a generic statement, it is not applied to those exceptions. But what I'm saying is what is actually happening in reality in many houses where both the people are normal and yet there is unrest. But we never try to look into it. We never like to deal with the truth. This is very important for all your relationships. What I'm speaking now, this understanding is very, very, very important. Understand what I'm trying to say. Drop your imagination and start living with reality. Because our fantasies block our root center, energy center. A small story. A man gave his friend a puppy as a wedding gift. 3 months later, they met on the street. How is married life? He asked him. Oh, just a few small changes over time, that's all, replied the friend. That married friend replied. What changes? The other one asked him. In the beginning, the puppy used to bark at me, and my wife used to bring me the newspaper. Now my wife barks at me, and the puppy brings me the newspaper, the man replied. Understand. Once the honeymoon is over, what happens? No wonder it is called the honeymoon and not honey sun. The happiness invariably lasts only a fortnight. Only a fortnight. I tell you, even if you marry a supermodel, her beauty will fade in just 15 days in your eyes because you are already fantasizing about someone else. Your imaginary perfect woman. and perfect man. And you keep on fantasizing because you are actually looking for fulfillment within yourself. But unconsciously, you're searching outside for it through these build up images. Please understand, you are searching for your suppressed half within yourself, but searching outside for it through these build up images. One lady was advising her daughter on the subject of marriage. Listen, dear, when you love someone, it should be for life. Only then it is real love. The daughter was listening to what she was saying. The lady continued, take my word of advice. I know what I'm talking about. After all, I have been married 3 times. The problem is, everyone is ready to give advice, but there is no one to take it. Anyhow, at least when we find out what is outside is white, if we accept reality, there is no problem. But do we keep quiet? No. We take out our brush and paints and try to paint the white into green. We try to change the other person to suit our mental image. We try to sculpt each other in the way we have imagined him or her to be. We try to possess the other person and convert them into matter. We degrade energy into matter. Here starts the problem. A small story. One man was a painter by profession. He was telling his friend, you know, one day a girl walked in with a chip that was a kind of blue-black color and wanted me to paint a model house with the same color. The thought I would give up my profession in trying to match it, nothing seemed to satisfy her. I thought I would give up my profession in trying to match it, but nothing seemed to satisfy her. The friend asked, did you finally match it? He replied, I was lucky. She got a call on her mobile phone and I quickly painted the chip while she was talking. Instead of matching to the chip, he painted the chip itself. Although all through the day, in every home, just listen carefully to the husband and wife talking to each other. You can hear the chiseling going on. I think that for marriages, we can gift a chisel and hammer along with the sacred thread or wedding ring. Another small story. A man and his friend were having a cup of tea together one evening. That man told his friend, I am planning to divorce my wife. She has not spoken one word to me in the past 6 months. The friend decision. You won't get another wife like that. Did you understand the hidden meaning? Means wives always talk. So he's saying it's a blessing to have a wife who is not talking. In life, if we drop the images inside us, we will find endless possibilities. Oh, Baba, you should see Swamiji cracking jokes about couple. You'll feel like you should be swallowed by the ground if you are a married person. You'll feel, oh God, I hope some ground just opens and swallows us. Oh my God. It's so funny. And see, he gives such a shock to you. It has to get into your inner being. You understand? The lesson which he wants to teach, it will just go and sit inside. But I've never seen any guru like him. Oh God, too good. Hmm? Oh, earlier days in satsangs, all the videos which are uploaded now in YouTube, they are edited. Edited means only the whatever he spoke, the satsang is being projected in the video. But in those days, we used to be in live, right? Watching him. Oh my God. He used to bubbling with laughter and, you know, my God. You can't stop laughing throughout the satsang. By God's grace, really, we had the opportunity to sit in front and heard lot of live satsangs, live Padapujas. I don't know when that day will come again. We actually took him for granted. That's why Parashakti moved him away from us. Until and unless we realize the value of literally Paramashiva landing on the planet Earth, Parashakti will not bring him back, isn't it? We took him for granted every moment. I've never seen a guru like him. If you even remember, oh my God, the satsangs used to be like, just can't tell you. I think if you look at me only, you can understand how it used to be. It was a golden period. These fools who troll, I'm talking publicly in social media. The fools who troll him, they don't know. Paramashiva is standing right here. Until he reveals himself, they cannot recognize him. These stupids are thinking they are trolling. Who are they to recognize? Until he reveals himself, they cannot recognize him. We are the few lucky ones and chosen ones. By his grace, we were able to recognize him as Paramashiva and Parashakti. The thought of the satsangs only, I'm unable to speak. Actually. Oh my God. So humorous, so jovial, so blissful. In that seat, he used to literally, jump, laughter. Every time I've seen only a smiling face. Actually, last 2 years, I think only last 2-3 years I'm seeing him like this. Before, only teeth, all teeth. Swamiji means all 32 or 34 teeth out throughout. Only since last 3-4 years, I'm like, oh, this is our Swamiji? I'm thinking. Totally different person you're seeing here now in the satsangs and on the screen. God. Just one look at him, you'll go into bliss. We used to be like that. See, even now, when I imagine that day also, I'm like, I'm unable to speak actually. I can't help. Huh? Let us pray that that day will again come very soon, where we should all sit in front of Him. Anyhow, see, understand, in life, if we drop the images inside us, we will find endless possibilities. If you are unmarried, drop your fantasies so that you can choose your life partner and not a dream partner. Dream partner can never be life partner. How can dream be reality? When you select a person, just remind yourself that you're going to be spending your entire life with him or her, not just a few months. It is not just a fling, it is a lifelong matter. As of now, any black jeans or blue t shirt will fall within your fantasy world and you'll be attracted to it. But understand that the black or blue will fade away in 6 months' time. If you are already married, drop your fantasies. Only then can you start a real relationship with anybody. If you move about with the chisel and hammer, a real relationship cannot happen. What is chisel and hammer? Trying to change the other person. What happens in chiseling is you start chiseling, and when you think that you have finished chiseling, your imagination has already changed. It has become something different. And so you have to do more chiseling to match the changed imagination. It becomes a never ending cycle. A real relationship can never happen as long as you have fantasies. If you notice, even if you stay for 24 hours in the same house with the other person, you don't look into the other's eyes because you live with fantasy and not reality. You don't actually live with the real person. You see all that the other person does through your imagination and conclude that your life is a punishment to you from God. If you are unmarried, drop your fantasies and your blood will cool down. If you are a widower, drop your imagination and you will not suffer the pain of loneliness. Try your best not to allow children to watch the duet songs on television until they have learned not to build fantasy. If they only enjoy the music and dance along with it, it's all right. But they invariably internalize all that they are seeing. This is where the problem starts. Everything gets stored in the Mooladhara chakra. Then a mere suggestion is enough, and the Mooladhara will be ready for sex. The sheer load of expectation leads to disturbances in the Mooladhara chakra. This is the way this chakra is locked. When you try to fulfill your fantasy through another person or by watching the television, when you try to impose or project your expectation and imagination on another person, this chakra is locked. This energy center is locked. It has nothing to do with the outer conditions of life. It has nothing to do with so-called celibacy. It is to do with your inner fragmented self. What is celibacy? Sannyas cloth? Just wearing one saffron cloth is celibacy? No. What is celibacy? Celibacy is nothing but not craving for the suppressed half that is inside you. That's all. If you are a male, you need to experience such fulfillment unto yourself that you no longer miss the suppressed female inside you. And if you are a female, you are so enough unto yourself that you don't look outside to experience this fulfillment. If this is achieved, you can live with or without the female in the outside world. If this is not achieved, even if you get married, you will continue to be under the torture of your hormones. Your hormonal torture is nothing but a yearning for the fulfillment that you are actually supposed to get from within you, not without. When you achieve this fulfillment, whether you are married or not, there will be peace in your mind. It is then that you can be celibate even in married life. This is true celibacy. That is why Krishna, Lord Krishna, is called Brahmachari after so many wives. 8 Maharanis he has, wives. But still he's celibate. It's called Brahmachari. Instead of this, people go out of their way, instead of realizing all this, people go out of their way to become celibates and become more suppressed and neurotic. Even in your married life, you can be celibate. There will be peace in your mind. Anyhow, somebody comments, but Swamiji, we don't even realize that we are carrying an image within us. Somebody asks. Swamiji says, yes, because we have never looked inside. We go everywhere, but inwards, we never go. Up to 80% of our energy is locked in this Mooladhara energy center. Understand, out of your 100% energy, 80% of your energy is locked in this Mooladhara chakra energy center. This energy center does not even need to be energized. It simply needs to be opened and activated. And the flood of energy flowing from it can transform your whole life. If you look deeply inside yourself, you will understand that you are suffering because you always feel there is some mismatch between what you see and what you want to see. This what you want to see is the image that you are carrying inside. I think youth should listen to what I'm talking, actually. Then you'll know how to deal your life. Hey, Hasini, how are you? After
I'm
a
good.
long time.
I know, Ma.
You're fine. You're studying now?
No, I'm working now.
You're working? Oh, you're all grown up then now.
Yeah.
Great. Hmm. Very nice. Actually, I miss all the kids in Gurukul. Somehow this e-Gurukul got stopped and, we got diversified.
Mm.
Anyway, that's okay, Ma. Whether it's a Gurukul class or this session or any session, healing will happen, powers will manifest, everything will happen. Hmm? This right understanding is very important. Right context is very important for life. Hmm? Anyhow, great. So understand, if you look deeply inside yourself, You will understand that you are suffering because you always feel there is some mismatch between what you see and what you want to see. This what you want to see is the image that you are carrying inside. If you don't know what image you're carrying inside, this is the way to look in. Differentiate between what you see and what you want to see. So what you want to see is the image you are carrying inside. At least from now on, try to watch with awareness. If people doesn't know what is awareness, I already gave a technique for that. Please witness your inhalation, breathing in, and exhalation, breathing out. That itself will build your awareness. Yes, Betty, it's okay even if you leave. Anyway, we are concluding. It's almost done. So you're not going to miss anything much. At least from now on, try to watch with awareness the play of your mind in whatever you see. Try to catch the scenes as they are before your mind steps in and passes judgment. You will then see how subtly and seamlessly your mind plays in whatever you see, causing you to believe that there is something always wrong with what you see. In Sanskrit, there are two phrases that teach us reality: drishti srishti and srishti drishti. Drishti srishti means seeing the world as it is, taking it as it comes, to welcome what is as reality. Srishti drishti means seeing the world as we would like it to be, through our own colored lenses, through our fantasies. The former leads to a peaceful life, while the latter leads to suffering. Drishti srishti will lead to peace. Srishti drishti will lead to suffering. We'll furthermore go deeply in next session, that is tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll connect back 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Sharp. Everybody please connect. It's a very important. Actually, all these 7 energy centers are very, very important. See, forget about spirituality, forget about everything. Do not think spirituality is a separate subject. No. This is life. How to deal with life, with people, with wealth, with health, with relationships, with profession, with everything, with studies, with anxiety, with guilt, with fear. This is our life, isn't it? So how to deal with your 7 energy centers? What are the 7 energy centers? What are your emotions related with it? Where is it getting locked? Why is it getting locked? How should we unlock it? This knowledge is very, very, very important to live a happy, successful, beautiful, smooth life, wealthy life. Understand? So don't miss these sessions. We will connect back tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So every one of you, please come back again. So I'll conclude the session now. Okay? Lot of healing is happening during this session, you know. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Sadguru Padarpanamastu. Om Nityanandam. I actually request all the youth. You should encourage all your friends to come into the session. For youth, this is very important. Understand? Because tomorrow you are the people. Next 50 years, you have to live beautifully in your life, isn't it? So, Of course, I recommend to old people also, because your exit from this world should be smooth, beautiful, with dignity, isn't it? So I tell all the youth, please invite all your friends. It's just a 1 hour, 45-minute session. That's it. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow. Bye, Bhavana. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you,
Ma.
mom.
Thank you.
Thank you.